At the turn of the tide, I can see an innate desire. Sword in hand, warriors side by side. I can feel it, it burns like fire. Worlds collide, an unstable landscape, side by side. But that's what this mandates. Be it might, an unlikely allegiance. We will fight because that's the best defense. No turning back for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Glorious death. Our goal, our mission is clear. As we ride against a dark empire, by my soul, may the last thing they hear be the roar of this rage empire. Listen, be the savagery mindset. Night and day, we'll let loose and find it. Brutal will define our reaction. Rip out the throat of each one imperfection. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Fear not, my friend, for right is the path. They shall remember glorious death. Glorious. The angels have fallen, my allies are beaten and broken down. I shed not a tear. After all, this is why we are here. A war we were not supposed to win. If I'm to die tonight, I'll kill every demon that stands in my spine. Go! You must shake me a fool. I stand on the skeletons of every goal. But if I'm to die, well, this very night, we'll kill every demon that stands in us. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Fear not, my friend, for right is the path. They shall remember glorious death. Make them remember glorious death. Glorious
What is up, guys? It's Braxcast Live. A little bit late. A buddy of mine had a little bit of a get together that was a bit impromptu. Got off of work early. There was nothing to do, so I want to make a little bit less money for March, but I don't know. I hardly care about money at this point. Although I don't know. I'm not sure if I got to, but my finances are a mess anyways for now. So it was nice to get off of work a little bit early. Got to the gym, did some shopping. But yeah, there's a get together happened around 5, and I just stayed a little bit too long to get back on time. As Merc Lounge observed that I am late. Of course, we got Rippa HQ in the chat, Ram as well. Rippa HQ says his daughter is hypnotized by Norfolk. It's probably because Valdan's got some pipes. Yeah. So I should cut the hair. Oh yeah, I don't know. It's about haircut time. But yeah, oof. So because my hair is like, I guess it takes a little bit longer for it to get this thick, but you're probably talking about like the beard. Oh no, I have an attachment to it at this point because I got when I visited my mom or my family for Thanksgiving, my mom insisted that I get a haircut. And I got my beard shaved down very nice as well. And that was the last time I got a haircut though. That was the end of November. So it's probably been, I don't know. Let's see, that's well, yeah, 9. So about, yeah, probably, yeah, somewhere about in the world about, yeah, 4 months. Oh yeah, you're talking about, but yeah, no, my head hair is definitely a bit of a mess. Um, yeah, no, I oughta probably get it cut down sometime, but like, I don't know, I really don't care about my aesthetics. Like I get a nice buzz cut. I buzz the hair. Um, so like now I just look like a homeless person, and then when I get a buzz cut, I look like a skinhead. So I can't really ever win with myself. It's like, oh, I never think I look good, but apparently, I mean, most no, no, most people think I'm a decent looking guy. I've had that affirmed to me. But it's just that like when you're like single lonely guy, you want that to lead to somewhere. And I thought I was had this person, and she was saying those things. It's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. It's like, well, I wanted you to mean it like that, right? Because I've heard like, oh, you're handsome, oh, you're a good looking guy. There's someone for you, right? You hear that over and over again, but you just want that one person who says it, means it, and it actually wants to be with you, right? But I have ranted on about my lack of a love life for quite a while. No need for me to do that. But anyways, there is a need for me to talk about. Let me get these books. So very professional live streamer I am. So here we go. Ripazine number 5 has been fulfilled. And I did get it, and I have read Blue Shift's tryouts, which is a fantastic story. So, Andrew, you really did a good job. If you are like, I don't know, they're probably all getting ready. Not all getting ready. Yeah, Rippa HQ is still waiting on his, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But yeah, I got the Ripazine collection book today. I got it as well. And I didn't read, I've already read all of the short stories, and this does include Blue Shift's tryout, which is, but I read it in the Ripazine because that's how I do it. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention that we got Zaid Comics in the chat, and really nice to see you guys. I did get in on Man of No Strings number 1, so I'm excited to read that. When the finances get better, I need to get back on Magic Cop because I like that. I like that issue of Magic Cop that I read. Yeah, got some packages today. Posted items on X. Let's see if I can't find those items on X.com. Merc. Yeah, so I also got the Isom action figures, and I got that card. So we'll actually add this to the stage. I'll show this here, and as we can zoom in, and I will show this card off. But this is a special Isom Dokuman card, and one of these is going to be part of the giveaway. So I have everything to do the giveaway. I talked about doing this giveaway for a good long while. and now I have the statue to do it. So with the plan, guys, so this week is just going to be going over the Ripazine, collection book and Ripazine number 5. And then of course, I forgot to mention this. There was something, of course, there was something else because there's just so much stuff going on with the Rippaverse. There's Dirty Deeds Jailbreak as well. So gotta organize myself here. But anyways, we got Dirty Deeds Jailbreak. So it seems like Carol Brown has written a novel. So that's going to be available as a seemingly going to be available, what seems like, 6x9 hardcover, which is I know you guys have Magic Cop 2 completed for sale. I just haven't, like I said, my financial situation isn't the best. But this seems like it's going to be a lengthy novel, 350 pages. So that's probably, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 90,000 words or so. And it's going to be also available as an EPUB. So as someone who's published 3 books, self-published, I know what an EPUB is. I'm not the best at making them. But you can pay someone on Fiverr to do it for you, which I have. Because like it's just not worth the time for me. But this is definitely going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a deep, because it's an in-universe novel. I'm reading it, so I'm going to read this one. I got the book, I got the card for it, but it'll take me a while because I can read a comic in a day. A book will take me a while, so I'm gonna have to like actually put my nose to the grindstone and actually read through it. But I definitely want to do that for the lore, especially with Dirty Deeds. So this will be a cool one to read through. But I definitely just wanted to mention that this is, of course, very simply just a book. So can't do any like interior covers for this. Can't do any sort of like, can't mention like artists or anything like that. I'm sure it's like by Kanan White, and I think the ship's name is Dirty Deeds. I love the font on the side. So I'm excited to read this one and see where the lore goes on this. Excited for Jailbreak. So Ram saying that haul looked nice. So no, I 100% agree that this is a really nice haul. So, but I think I wanted to mention Dirty Deeds Jailbreak just a little bit. But what I want to mention with this is that the giveaway is going to involve one of these ISIM cards. I'll give away one of these metal shaker bottles and a Bloodroof plushie. Let's see. If you're talking about the book is going to be a 6x9, which I think I have a 6x9. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I actually do have a 6x9. If I can verify. Anyway, I believe, guys, this right here is, you can go full screen, but this right here, this is a book that I've written, and you guys can go on to, velvetroompublishing.com, and you can buy this book if you guys want to. But this is going to be about the size it's going to be, and 6x9. That's very typical for novels. 5x9 is for nonfiction books. So this size is very typical for novels. Talking about this cover. It's a cool cover. I have From Men to Machines, but I only got the proof copies for those, and I'm just going with. Excuse me. So I only got the proof copies for the prequel to that book, and I gave the hardcover to my mom. I gave the softcover to friend of mine ? I don't know. That was a really a very odd situation that I. But anyways, I saw her in December. I gave her a copy of that book, so I don't have any physical copies. So I ought to get some more physical copies of that book and actually try and sell them in person, because that's what's been most effective for me. But you guys can buy the because let me try and be a businessman, and try and like sell my stuff. so I can actually put that I sold because Machine to Man is the first novel I wrote, and then I wrote the prequel after I wrote the gender ideology book, which that book drove me insane. But people liked a lot of people liked it. If you're rolling on my joke there, um, yeah, but people did seem to like, um, yeah, the book that I wrote on gender ideology, which you can read the text digitally for free. So, um, yeah, what I will um, let's see if I can go to social media. Actually, no, I'll just do it here. But anyways, I'll put a link in the chat to where if I can find the dang thing. Lol. So yeah. So if you go so I posted this link in the chat. So if you want to go and check out my long form writings, you can go there. And it'll give you all the links to buy all the books. And like I said, with the second book I wrote, the nonfiction book on gender ideology, that book is free. You can just read it online as a Substack post. It's a really long Substack post, but it's a Substack post nonetheless, and you can just read it just to get the information because that was the important thing. And I gave out all the copies, so that's how like it was really like an interesting thing to do to just like randomly like hand books out to people. So that's I had a lot of fun doing that. There's like a little bit of my I don't know that portion like because when I first moved up here, um, like it was a grand adventure, and all that has like it's worn off now. Like you know stuck in my routine. I got a job. I've got things on my mind that I'm dealing with. That I got to pay the bills and everything. But for that time, like I didn't have a job. I had my lodging figured out for a couple of weeks, and it all worked out. But it was like where I was like, okay, this is really fun. I feel like I can do anything. Um, and I don't know. I think I got a bit too comfortable. Um, and the whole like whirlwind of emotions with like moving and meeting new people. So yeah, no, it I had a plan and it didn't go according to the plan. But anyways, that's the whole. I've talked about that. Oh, we got GDV in the chat. Nice to see you, my man. Hopefully you are having a good weekend. It's a little bit rainy up in the Granite State, but I'm staying dry. But I don't know if you want to know the weather. But this is Merc Lounge's really cool haul. And like I said before, I had mentioned this so many times. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Oh yeah, that was so this message was your so you got a 2-year-old daughter. So your daughter was like what, born in 24? Yeah, Merc Lounge is hoping things get better. Yeah, I don't think things are like irredeemably awful for me. I'm just at like a really, really weird position in my life where um but I'm just like there's a lot of stuff I could do, a lot of directions I could go, and I'm just not sure like which path is best for me because like I could enlist and I talked to, but the thing is like I'm so like old in comparison to the age that I would do it, um, because and the funny thing is like the recruiter's like, oh yeah, I'm 26. I'm like I'll be 28 next week, so I'm like older than him. Yeah, the hardest part is actually making a decision. I agree, Rippa HQ. And that's where I am. That's where I'm at. Because like I could do something like really extreme and just enlist as an active duty Marine. Um, and then just say, screw it, I'm just going to go and have another adventure. But there's a whole bunch of reasons why I wouldn't want to do that. And then it's like, oh, I could just, wait out this job where I'm not making a lot of money and then wait out for the IBW apprenticeship if I get offered something else, so there's a whole bunch of things I could do. But the biggest thing is just like, I don't have like much of a career. Although having a career is not like the most important thing, but like I just don't have this thing like when I go to work for most of the week, I'm not doing something that feels like enriching, and it's not. It certainly isn't like building wealth for me. So it's like I'm spending like so much of my time doing stuff that's useless. And that's not a good thing to feel. Like where it's not like enriching me as a person, and it's not making me better off. Like I'm just like I'm not on the edge. Like I'm not like paycheck to paycheck, but it's like if I want to maintain what I have in terms of like savings and being able to be somewhat in the black, yeah, I'm just like barely holding on. It's not a good position to be in. But I've talked about that before. Yeah, apparently Ram is saying that Riley was at MegaCon harassing folks. If that is true, that's nuts. Yeah, oh no, man. It's just like the whole thing it wasn't ever really funny. And of course, like this guy is a complete, I'm sure I think he made fun of me. Because he like quote tweeted or posted like some of my live streams because the detractors have done this where they've posted like my views and said, "Oh, Rippaverse fan, you get no views." If there was an all caps comics fan stream, is what he said, that it would get so many more views. I don't know why Riley doesn't do that. Like, and prove me wrong, because there'll probably be like 100,000 people on. I'm being very sarcastic, but hey, I don't know, decent chance he could get more viewers doing an Cyberfrog podcast, Cyberfrog live stream. Maybe for a couple of yeah. So yeah, I should just join the Air Force and get a chill MOS. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. You see, if I do it, I would want to be. I'd want to be a warrior, right? Like I'd want to join the Marines. I'd want to toughen up. I mean, I could join the Marines and get MOS 1141. That's electrician, and you can do that for 4 years. You can get a journeyman license in the civilian world pretty easily. And basically, it's like think of it as like a really intense apprenticeship. Um, or I could just say, screw it. I could just go, 0300 infantry, and I'd go 0311, which would be machine gunner. Just carry a like an 80-pound machine gun in the Iranian desert for the almighty petrodollar. But like, is that like the best thing for me to do? Probably not. Would it be fun in some ways? Definitely. Would I make a ton of money? No. Would I have to pay rent and utilities? I wouldn't. So I'd get to save a lot of money. And then yeah, I get the head buzz, the Paris Island. I probably would come in with the beard as well. Because they make you, yeah, could come back as the horseman. Well, I'd have to become an army ranger. I have to join the army, but I mean, I guess the whole point of like Hector's character is that he's like military, right? So like, yeah, no, I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think I would have a nephew to raise. 'Cause I do have sisters, but I don't think either one of them are having kids. Yeah. So, but that's not something that's definitely, yeah, that is neither here nor there. But anyways, but the whole thing, I guess, to keep it, on topic with Rippaverse. Yeah, I mean, we've got fulfillment. So Ripazine has been fulfilling, as we have seen with this. The Isom statues fulfilling. So I got my Isom statues, or Isom action figures, I ought to say. I will be unboxing this. Yeah, unboxing this next week. So this week will be covering the Ripazine. Next week will be the Isom action figure. And then sometime after that, I'm going to go and basically do an audit of my extra stock stuff, books I'm willing to give away, and I will announce a giveaway. And the first prize will get that sweet golden Isom card with a bloodproof plushie. So it's going to be cool. So stay tuned for that, because I have the stuff now. I just need to get my ducks in a row in order to do it. Yeah, so Marines used to have military police, but they went away with that. You probably would have liked that. I don't know. I don't think I don't know, I wouldn't want to be a cop. If I won't, yeah, yeah. I better believe GDV. Better believe we got the card coming too. So yeah, how do fans enter the contest? So I will, Ram. I will tell you how. I will tell you how. To enter the contest. So that'll be. I'm not sure exactly how I'll do it because the last time I did it was like write an essay, and then I graded it personally. But I think I might just, I don't know. Let's see. Gotta wait for Blood Roof number 2 for the zine number 5. Yeah. Oof. I do them as separate orders so I can get them right away because I gotta want to cover them while they're fulfilling. I moved to a whole new state in 14 days. Hopefully, all my process orders are shipped by then. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, that was the thing with me. I was fortunate when I did the move. In that um I put a bunch of orders on the hero stash, and I had like maybe like a week and some change, but I got an address at the UPS store. I go there like I'm gonna go there all the time. Whenever I go there to pick up my Rippaverse stuff because that's the address I set to it and it delivers there. And I did get a bunch of comics from my grandmother when my parents went and cleaned out her home after she passed. She had a bunch of like really old comics, which was nice. And the package was super freaking heavy, and so she just put it on the table. It's like, I'm not handing it to you. I'm like, I'll pick it up and I'll bring it home. And I did do that. How do you remember how many has ha is to type in when you log in? Yeah, soon we got saying what's up. Nice to see you. So yeah, lots of fulfillment lately, but the Saska book flood should be soon, and Dirty Deeds. Then the Dixon books. Yeah. Really excited. So this is the whole thing. We are 100% on the eve of that. No, yeah, I do have some stuff to go over. Let's see. Just want to make sure. Okay, so actually, yeah. So Student of God. Speaking of Student of God, he's got a bunch of stuff to go through. So we'll go through that, and then I might call it. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's usually just like automatically. I haven't been streaming for that long, but I don't know. I don't have to be up early tomorrow. I'm not going to work tomorrow, so who cares? Let's see. Caro said in Discord chat that there was a print error on one of the AC2 covers. They had to expedite before they can take to, let's see, Florida for him to sign. Oh, Alpha Core 2 covers. Print error on one of the Alpha Core 2 covers. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it happens. Let's see. So 15-page blue shift thoughts, Rippaverse Easter eggs and comics, mostly sex counter foundation, interesting family dynamic, need more comics. I have a stronger opinion. Writing seemed competent so far and not too wordy. Bunch of typos in that, but it's okay. Yeah, so initial thoughts on Dirty Deeds. It's a good book. Eiju Souza does a really good job drawing it. Andrew writes a pretty nice story. So this doesn't really establish the character of Blue Shift like super, super well, but it does do it, I would say, well enough where like we get an introduction more or less to Zephyr and not Blue Shift himself, which I personally really like. But this whole thing is like I could see this being, yeah, nailed it. Let's see, yeah, Blue Shift is, yeah, it's a great name for a speedster. And you also can't wait for Great War Separation Free. I'm excited for that one as well. Let's see, Blue Shift ranks 4th or 5th on my Ripazine ranking. Well, that's near the bottom because there's only 5 Ripazine stories. So like. Are you saying that because it's bad? Or are you saying that because Blue Shift is bad? Or are you saying that because the other stories are just so good? I'd have to probably reread all the Ripazine short stories to like go through those rankings. But to me, this is a good story. And this is one where I would definitely want an ongoing series of Blue Shift starting from basically this point to basically, like you say, he's like what, around a freshman. I've gotten 5, so here we go. I have gotten 5. So the 5th issue, number 5. I have it right here. So I've gotten it. I read Blue Shift. Yeah, so read the comment on the post. I'm voting yes for a full story of Ripper sends out survey. Yep, I'll give a like to that. Right there, as you can see, and I'll like that as well, and I will repost that. Okay. Yeah, so I 100% want an ongoing series for Blue Shift. I think Andrew has the chops for it. Souza is definitely a good artist. So we just got to, as a community, we have to collectively convince Andrew to put down the Franzia long enough to write enough Blue Shift issues. Can we do that as a community? Can we get Andrew to put down the boxed wine, to not wind mom it up, to write a full, to do enough to get enough pages out for a ongoing series for Blue Shift? I think we can do it, guys. I 100% think we can do it. I'm so disappointed that Andrew is not in the chat, because again, next time he's in the chat, I'm going to rib him on this, because I am not letting this joke go. Mainly setup. There will be a time to jump to senior year, though, if Andrew's greenlit is more. Yeah, and I honestly, I like it like that. But I want an ongoing series where, it goes through his high school days to where he's a college kid. Of course, I don't want to mention the character, but of course he's got the love interest there. I hope it works out. But I will be mentioning all of that in the recorded episode. I believe it's going to be 106. So if you haven't read Blue Shift, because I think GDV mentioned it, or Rippa HQ, whoever in the chat, I can't exactly remember. And you want to watch 106, just be aware I'll be going into that spoiler talk there. So yeah, GDV thinks it was well done. Would buy the next book. Yes, I would as well. The one time he's not here, we are talking about his comic for the first time. Yes, exactly. But hey, he's busy. I'm sure he might catch the live stream on this. But like I said, but here's the thing: he just drank too much Franzia. He's passed out on the couch, and he missed this. It just is what it is. What it is, guys. I don't have anything against him for doing that. But anyways, we're going to go on to some stuff from Rippaverse. So this is a backwards update. So backwards, if you guys don't know, is Eric's metal band. They released one album in 2017, about 9 years ago. 2017 is almost 10 years ago, guys. The 17 does not feel like it was 10 years ago, right? Like, it should not be 10 years. 2017 should not be 10 years ago. That's ridiculous, guys. Because it's the year I graduated high school, and it was also the year I started dorming. So like, it was a important year for me. And then yeah. Anyway, so we'll go into this. Also Eric did post about backwards this morning. Ooh, interesting. But we'll go for So backwards has been like on break for a while, although they've been doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It sure doesn't feel that long ago. I 100% agree. But anyways, let's watch this.
Will we be getting backwards updates this year? I have one major life accomplishment, let's say that thing. That once I do that, because that's really the big reason why we haven't gotten a studio to touch up on some of these like 20 damn songs that we have of unreleased music, is because between the baby, between like I don't know if you guys know, well, I'm not gonna NDA. One of our members recently got married, of our band recently got married. There's more backwards babies on the way, let's say that, for some of our members. So it's a lifetime thing. But I think going into the middle of the year, we will have that out the way so we can get back to making music. So yeah, this year I think it's good. I think going in the fall we can maybe do a little something.
Yeah, interesting. I love another backwards album. I listened to Veracity a whole bunch. In fact, the one accident I ever got into, I was listening to Veracity. I was listening to the album. So it was the day after Christmas. I had just started the job. And that, not just job in current, but I had just started the last job I worked in New York. And I was sitting at a Sitting at a red light. It had just turned green, so traffic was picking up, and then I got rear-ended, and it was this like 40-something-year-old woman arguing with like a 12-year-old kid about a Starbucks drink, and she wasn't looking at the road, so she slams into me, and they ended up totaling my car. I had a sore neck for like 2-ish weeks or so. I went to the gym the next day. That's back when I had my training on lock, and I went every single day. I have not been like that, which is really disappointed myself that I fell off that hard, but it is what it is. But anyways, car ended up getting totaled. I was really mad about it at the time, of course. Very frustrating. But I did end up getting the car I currently have because of that, and so it worked out. But I was listening to Veracity at the time, so Air July is the reason why my car got totaled. Yeah, you get that insurance money. So yeah, what happened was that it was under, because my dad had gotten the loan in his name because his credit was better than mine. But I had paid it off. Yeah, SOG's at the gym. Yeah, I went to the gym today. Good for you, man. Get those get those reps in. But anyways, Merkel Launch, to answer your question, I did get the insurance money. So what happened is that my dad got the insurance money. He gave me a little bit, actually a decent amount. So on top of that, and then I used that money and the money I was saving up living with my parents to buy the car I currently have, a new car in cash. So it worked out for me. Like it wasn't like in fact, it was a good thing because I got more for the car, like it being totaled, than I honestly would have if I had driven it for another year and then traded it in for something. And it would have been such a hoopla since it wasn't in my name. With all the paperwork. So honestly, it was like a good thing that it happened because like my dad got the money and then he gave it to me, and then I was able to use like this fat stack of cash to buy a car. So it worked out for me, and I love the car that I like the car that I have. Great gas mileage. It drives really nicely. It's a hybrid Toyota, so the thing runs like a clock. Only issue that it had was that not the hybrid battery, but like the regular car battery died. But I drove it to, I got a AAA basically. Came to the lot where it was at, jumped it. I drove it to the dealer. They replaced the battery. They did the standard maintenance on it that was due for anyways. So that actually worked out. Yeah, I'm going to get into an accident and spend all my money on Rippaverse. Expert plan. That's a very responsible thing for you to do. But yeah, so that situation worked out for me, and I wasn't like injured or anything because it was a minor accident. That car was just a piece of junk. Because it was a Nissan Versa. So it's a notoriously bad car. So it was a shitbox of a car, but guys, it was my shitbox of a car. So I freaking love that, and I took care of it. Like I got the oil changed every 6 months. I got I kept it clean. I didn't drive it that hard. I always filled it up like half a tank. Never let it never ran it on fumes that much. I still sometimes I do quarter tank now, but like I don't like to drive on fumes that often. It's bad for the fuel pump, right? So I did all that stuff. I took great care of it, which is why I got as much money for it when it was totaled. But it would have, I had the freaking Jacko transmission. So the car was probably going to go. Honestly, probably what happened is that they shipped it off to someplace in South America. They fixed it up in a chop shop. And that car it's probably a piece of junk now because someone is driving around it in like Chile or Brazil or Guatemala or something like that. They just like total it within the first like week of owning it or drove it into the freaking ground. So I'm really skeptical that car is taken care of. Maybe I would like for that because it was a decent car, but my sister's like how can you drive this thing? It's such a bad car, and I'm like I'm a lot bigger than either of my sisters, so like my leg would be against like the center console. so it wasn't like that comfortable to drive. But I took it on a one road trip. We got one road trip out of that car. So I did a long, like I did like an 8 hour drive. When I first went to Porkfest, I took the Versa. Man, that was fun. Yeah, so yeah, no, I just miss driving that car, man. Because like life was simpler back then. In some ways when I had that car. But like the first time, like when I got the car, and then I was able to I was able to go places. Like I remember, I traded in my old phone at the mall. First thing I did, I was like, oh, I've been meaning to do this. I just didn't have anyone to drive me. But I was like, oh, I can just drive myself, and it all worked out. Let's see. So Roberto Viacava is saying good evening. Justice for my Nissan Versa. Yes. So I see that car. Yeah, got to go. Have a good one, Ram. So I see that car all the time on the road in Nissan Versa. Yeah, you guys take care. So whenever I feel like especially like one that was the color that mine was, it was like a silver. I always feel like a little twinge, like you know, like a bit nostalgic because it was my first car. And it was the 18.5, so I had the backup camera, and it was the highest trim level, so it had trim level features like cruise control and power windows. It was how cheap of a car it was that like the power windows, like there are Nissan Versas of that generation where you would crank the windows down, and the owner's manual actually had like here's how to remove the window handle if you have the crank down windows, because it was that basic of a car. Where like, oh, the power windows are like that's a trim level option. Ooh. And the car I have is more stuff like the trim level options are like stuff like heated seats and the moonroof, which I have the moonroof. I'll care for the moon. I think I have to pay more in registration. This is like, I don't know. Owning a car is expensive. I don't like it in sense of like how much they fleece you for, especially like I have to do the registration every year in New Hampshire. Let's see. Roman history and cars. You're not that bad. You're not that bad of a guy. It's like, I don't know. I probably am not. I don't think I'm a decent guy. But anyways, oh no, oh no. But anyway, so we're going to go for this Rippaverse con presence idea. Um, if we can do it like that. Let's watch this video.
For example, Artist Alley. There's always retailers and stuff that'll go there, but a lot of those guys are local. Like Artist Alley, that makes a lot of sense. That's how a lot of these guys make their money. Like we're a comic book company, and for us to like just be paying bread to travel like that, like that amount, that only makes sense in certain pockets of the world. Let's say that, but like just going to some venue across the like the entire nation, bringing multiple members of our team, sending all of these books and shit, and having to pay a premium for all of that shit just doesn't make any sense for us whatsoever. Like if we like again, you gotta understand we're in a different spot. Like we make most of our sales D2C. It's not like we're not like it's an individual artist that's going to somewhere where they're gonna make all the proceeds from the art that they're selling. Like that's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a comic book company itself going there and having a presence there. Yeah, if we're not gonna be getting the sweet deals like the like I don't know everybody else that they have come there, then that makes no, we would just be paying to play, and financially that's we that just doesn't make sense. He's have a friend who worked at a lot of smaller cons, was financially disastrous, but was only useful for making connections. You're past the stage. Exactly. Like if we were completely dependent on like I said, if it was just me, like let's say I didn't own anything, like let's say it was one of our like Bart Sears, he's in a con circuit, for example. That makes sense. Bart Sears is he's making his money on the artwork and all that stuff. So he's gonna go, he sells original pages of like salvage and stuff like that. Like that makes all the sense in the world for that. But for the actual comic book company did do that, like you don't that doesn't make any sense. maybe rent a place out and do like small 2K venue or Rubicon with just a couple of minutes. Well, that would make a lot more sense doing something like that than it would just like traveling for travel's sake and not getting any sort of help from any of these cons. So we just
So let's see. Eric mentions Bart Sears on the concert. Bart is given a sweet retailer deal for the comic salvage that he's a part of, so he could sell at cons, t-shirts also. Like he actually sells Rippaverse merch on that, so he gets like a discount, like wholesaler price, and then he sells it at cons. I think that's a decent idea. But I don't think that's like the most necessary thing. So I think it's a decent idea if Bart wants to do it, but it's just like, does Bart want to, you know, have his con presence be like that? Because a lot of it is like, um, for cons, I'm not the most experienced with cons, but it's not like I don't know. I think it's something that would be cool to do, but it's like if Bart wants his con presence to be like that, um, I'm not opposed to it. And it would be cool if like Bart could sell like copies of Salvage or like some Rippaverse merchandise. Um, let's see. Oh, we got Genuine Comics. Nice to see you guys, or nice to see you, Dave. Hopefully you're doing well. Excited to read Perfect 10 issue 6. So definitely love what you guys do. So you guys can certainly follow Genuine Comics because that's a really, really good stuff that they do over there. But like I said, yeah, so I mean, I think them having a presence at cons is really good. I haven't been to any of the cons. I ought to go to one of the cons at some point. That would be a cool thing for me to do. To actually like meet like Eric and Andrew and Kara or whoever. Um I'm not sure. I'm sure like Andrew would recognize me. Not sure, Eric might. Who knows? But I'll just say, hey, yeah, no, I'm Joker. Um, I'm the guy that's made like at this point hundreds of hours of content about the Rippaverse for whatever reason. Um, and I don't know. You guys seem to like it. So I won't say like, oh, the content I make is so bad, guys. It's the worst. No, you guys seem to like it. I could definitely be a little bit better with it. But hey, this is like to me in a lot of ways, it's like a hobby. Like it's a thing I do on the weekends. And I like it being like that. Like, because I had this meeting with this like SEO optimized. It's like, AI optimizing your videos. And the guy was like, yeah, for $100, you get to do 2 videos a month. I'm like, I don't know. It's like $50 a month for video. I upload 4 videos a month. And then, with the live stream, that's like 8 videos a month. I would want to SEO optimize. And I wouldn't, and then spending like $100 a month on that is a bit like, I don't know. It's like too much money. It's especially like if I was making like, let's say, if I was like bringing in like 2K a month off of like, book sales and, being monetized off of YouTube and all that stuff. Sure, I could justify expenses like that, but it's just not there. I'm not sure, I think a good part of it is just the way I go about running development publishing. I'm very casual with it, which is what it is. But yeah, no, I would love for there to be what I really want is like a Ripacon, right? Where they, put one of the, I guess they would do it in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Um, but it'd be cool to do something on like the East Coast as well. But yeah, it makes sense for them to do it in Texas because they're a Texas-based company, right? And they have like a formal Ripacon. I think that would be the coolest thing to do, like for the company, where they rent out a venue that's like close to the warehouse, so that way, if you're all traveling in person to go to the job, then it wouldn't be too far off to go there, and it would be very easy to like ship, bring stuff over from the warehouse to Ripacon and set stuff up. And they've got like forklifts and stuff, so they should be able to get like decent equipment for the venue, and that should so I think a Ripacon would be a really cool thing to do. And you have like you don't need to do like this massive E3 presence where like you have all these special effects and this massive stage and this like 200-inch screen behind you playing this epic CGI. No, but like it would be nice if you had like a cool like Ripicon Rippaveal where it was just simply like Eric and the team just talking about what they're going to be doing for the next year. And then having like preview books and booing book signings and booths about the characters at the con afterwards. I think that'd be a really cool thing to do. You have like the Rippaveal for all the people who would watch online, and then you would have like these booths and signing and meeting the teams, meeting greets and stuff like that for the people who actually show up there. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. I think that would be probably the best thing for them to do instead of like them going to all of these circuits. Because like Eric said, it gets expensive to send like a team and all of their equipment and the merchandise to Austin and then Orlando and then maybe even San Diego. And it especially if you're going to do it as a company event where you're having the company comp like flights and giving them a per diem for food and lodging. It adds up very quickly to do that for even one person, let alone a team of people. So I can understand why Eric is reticent to do that. And of course, GDV saying going to Bell County this year in Texas, it's iconic Comics Con. Rippaverse has a big presence there. Yeah, that'd be a cool one to go to. See, now I understand why they didn't do a Rippaveal for this year. Imagine $100 in the Rippaveal. Yeah, ridiculous. Just finished Norfolk Cut today. It was awesome. Looking forward to Ripazine 5. That's Winter Fox Candles. I don't believe I've seen you in the chat, Winter Fox Candles. Yeah, so see what guy saying, yeah, it's a cheaper version. Yeah, but that would be cheaper if you have artists who are on the con circuit. So my understanding is like you want artists who are on the con circuit already to just sell Rippaverse stuff in the cons you're going to anyways. It's a good idea. It definitely is a much more cost effective than hosting your own event. But you don't have that, like I said, that pull and that like I'd say legitimacy, but like again, it just makes it it's an atmosphere. It's like I hate that where it's like, oh, it's a very Gen Z, like, oh, it's a vibe. But like just the air that like you give off hosting your own con and being able to control the way that it is, like it's a really, really cool thing to do. And I want there to be a Ripicon. I think that's a cool thing to do. And you can definitely do, both things. You can give Bart Sears Rippaverse stuff to sell. You can give like Jack Herbert or Cliff Richards. Yeah, hate using the word vibe, but it's such a good word. Atmosphere is a much better word to use, but it doesn't roll off the tongue as well because vibe is just 2 syllables. Atmosphere is 3 syllables. Let's see. I used it when I was younger, but now it's so Gen Z coded. Yeah, on a lot of things because like I'm at the tail end of Gen Z in terms of like being older. So Gen Z, they say it ends at like 97. I was born in 98. So like I'm not really Gen Z in a lot of ways. In fact, a lot of Gen Zs, because the way a lot of Gen Zs view age, they would not view me as their contemporary. Because I'm past the age of 25. That makes you old. Because there was this kid, I guess I'll call him a kid. He's 5 years younger than me, my little sister's age. And I said, I'm 27. It's like, oh man, I thought you were younger than that. I thought you were 25. I'm like, I'm like, what? So it's like, oh yeah, you're almost 30. That's the age where you're cooked, or that's cooked age, or however the hell he said it. I was like, oh, okay, man. And he's talking about wanting to get like, oh, I want to get a Mustang now. It's like, okay. I was just trying to say, hey, yeah, no, I don't want to get 2 car payments, man. Rippa HQ is yeah, that should cook. Yeah, you're past the age of 30. Yeah, so I'll be 28 next week. And exactly a week from now, I'll be turning 28. So my 20s are basically over. This is what it feels like. It's like, yeah, no, I don't know. I kind of did stuff that was productive, but yeah, a lot of my 20s in terms of like, I haven't been in a relationship. I haven't clubbed or anything. I went to a couple of frat parties, but that all really ended when I was like, I went to them, most of them when I was 19. I think maybe I went to like one when I was like 20. So I didn't really, party or anything like that, which honestly probably a good thing because the older you get, and I was like, oh, like I'm such an old man. But like the older you get, you realize that like partying and clubbing is just not really all that fun. It's like, yeah, going out on like a Friday or a Saturday night and getting like blackout drunk isn't that still yeah. Turning 30 isn't that big of a deal, I promise. All the 30-year-olds still club low. Yeah, that's the thing, is that when I'll be turning 30, like I said, 2 years from now, which isn't that long. A long way to go. So yeah, no, I'm not like, and I in a lot of ways I feel like I'm 37. Like I feel like I'm pushing 40 in some ways, which is like the way I think about things. And that's kind of like the mindset, because I'm sure there are people who are like in their 40s that are much more like immature than I am. Not the super mature person. But like they're 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds that act like they're teenagers. And I despise that mindset wholeheartedly. But anyways, that's the high and low of it there. So yeah, no, I'm 100% on board with Student of God's idea, but it doesn't have the glamour of there being a Ripazine, or not Ripazine, a Ripicon. Yeah. Yeah, so GDP saying, hey, he's on the 30-year-olds, yeah. Yeah, but no, it's not that, I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. Turning 30. I think turning 20 is, because I experienced turning 20, and that was like, oh, that was a big thing for me. So like I think it's not like insignificant to turn 30, to go through like that next, especially like once you're done with your 20s, because that's like you're definitively done with your young adult. And I feel like at this point, like I'm not really a young adult anymore. Like I'm just an adult. And I like it just happened when I moved last year. So like it was something that like just happened to me. But I had been in that mindset, but I was just like I had other things that kept me living at home. But like in terms of like where I'm at in life, like yeah, no, I pay my own bills. I have my own life. I'm trying to figure things out in a lot of ways. And I feel like there are people who are like in their late 30s or late to mid 30s or doing stuff like that. I was just talking to guys like, oh yeah, I'm going to be 35 this year. I still don't have my career figured out. It's just is what it is. So, especially nowadays with the way the job market is, and the way college is such a scam, that like for the Gen Z that are in the millennials that are you know at that like getting to their prime working years, like it's hard. It's tough out there. It is tough out there. But that's a whole other discussion for another day. But let's see. Let's see. You can't be you can't be 30 years old making Rippaverse content. Yeah. I don't know. I probably can't. I mean, decent chance I will be, right? But anyways, let's see. But yeah, that's it. Well, FBI is going to come in as soon as he turns 30. It's like you got to stop with the Rippaverse content. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Is just like playing games. Yeah. No, it's like joking. I do well. So what's up with Rippaverse Day this year? I feel like they skipped doing something special for last year. What is it? Yeah, it's July 11th. Yeah. I'm not sure. I can't. Yeah, I can't remember. They might have done a sale. Winter Fox, but let's see. We thought it was all AI. Yeah, it could be. But yeah, Winter Fox. I don't know anything about Rippaverse Day. It's still like that's about 4 months away from now, because that is the day ISUB 1's campaign launched, and that was almost 4 years ago at this point. Oh man. Yeah, let's see. No, I'm doing this until I'm 90. Oh boy. I can't. It's one of the reasons why I don't want to enlist, because then I'd have to stop doing this. I would be disappointed, because I would stop reading the books, and I know, as like I spent like 4 years not doing it, I'd have like 200 books to read, and I'm like, oh, that'd be so freaking intimidating. So I want to keep up with it on that basis. But yeah, Merkel, will understand I'm doing this until I'm 90. I very well could be. If it persists long enough, I want to. I certainly want to. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of stuff getting fulfilled. But yeah, we went over Dirty D's Jailbreak, went over Merc Lounge's really cool haul. So I mentioned Ripazine #5 and the right, Rice, Isom Primeval statue. Like I said, next week I'll be showing that off. So stay tuned for not this Saturday, but Saturday the 28th. Will be cool. See, Winter Fox Candles is 43. All in on Rippaverse comics, podcasts, books, you name it, can't get enough. Well, yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I feel like there's always not an appeal, but like being young at heart and having like that childlike wonder, like you don't want that to fade. Like it's hard for it to not fade because like you have to grow up, right? You can't like literally have the mindset of a child in everything that you do, unfortunately, because like the world isn't going to let you. Um, so that's the thing that I find a bit sad, but like having some of that childlike wonder is definitely a good thing to do. Like still being young at heart and like you can still read a comic book and pay your mortgage, or in my case, pay the rent and the utility bills. Like I'm capable of doing both. And I certainly have, and I, God willing, will continue to do so. But anyways, yeah, more like 350 book by the time you get. Yeah, no, sorry. Well, whatever. It's going to be like a lot of books. But yeah, that's assuming I actually do it. So I don't know. I told the recruiter, I'd make a decision on Monday if I would go to MEPS this week and actually do it. And for that, like, I'd have to get rid of the beard. I don't think I'd have to. Honestly, I might as well. I would probably just buzz the hair as well, and I'd look how I did because I did that in the early summer, but it would be even more stark because I've really let the beard grown out, and I like it like this, but it's also like I gotta comb the knots out every day and actually get paint because like it can get very knotted. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna end it here. It was a good hour of streaming. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Lots of exciting stuff coming up with all the stuff that's been fulfilled. So stay tuned for that. Winter Fox Candles, subscribe to the YouTube channel because you're on YouTube. You'll get all that content. I do Braxcast as recorded episodes every week. Let's see. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of rambling on. And it's like I want to try to get to bed at like a somewhat decent time. So yeah, no, I'm going to end it here. But let's see. Yeah, you guys have a good night. I'm going to end it here. Maybe I might do like a video game live stream over the weekend because you guys seem to like me live streaming, but no promises. I'm going out for now. You guys have a good one.